Little did Chris Jericho realize that I'm the masked man. Hey everybody, Alan Sullivan once again. Welcome to the Working Man's Blog, episode 2 after God knows how long. I apologize that there's been such a drought in productivity as far as this video blog goes, but that sort of thing happens when you have absolutely nothing to talk about. Seriously, nothing goes on in my life. The only really thing that really does go on is my work, and you guys see that when I post it on like my site or DA or most recently FetchQuest, which just premiered today or last night or whenever it is that you probably were around to see it. It's up now. Go look at it. www.fetchquest.com. Simple enough, right? And if you Google search FetchQuest, it just pops up right there. How about that? The only thing I can really talk about, I guess, would be what I've more or less been using my YouTube account for nowadays, which would be SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Ooh-wee. It's important to me because I've been a long-time fan of the SmackDown series. It's been my favorite of the WWE games. I haven't had much fun with it since the N64 games, along with the WCW games like World Tour, Revenge, or whatnot. And then they had WrestleMania 2000 and everybody's favorite, No Mercy. SmackDown series, SmackDown vs. Raw series, has been very good for me, especially with the creator wrestler feature. That thing started to go down the tubes when SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 came out. It is a good game in its own right. It had a decent amount of wrestlers involved. However, they really started to nerf the creator wrestler system, which, like I said, is one of my favorite things because I can make quite a lot of people. I am very detailed with my CAWs, and they just started to hack and slash away with it to the point where I could barely make anyone. I couldn't even... Maybe if I had tried now, especially with the whole wrestling attire thing that I tend to do with her, I could probably make Nala, but back then, I couldn't make her the way I wanted to. And SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, I haven't really played all that much. All I had was a week's worth of experience because it was a rental, and I hadn't really had the money to buy it yet, since it was still new. I've heard many horror stories about it, but even if it is bad, hey, at least I didn't pay full price for it like the rest of you guys did. Plus, I pride myself on having the complete essential SmackDown series. So, there you go, it's complete again. Back to SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, however. Many things about this game in its developmental stages pulled me in. Various things, including rumored things about something that I've wanted for a long time, but I couldn't get because I didn't have an Xbox 360, custom entrance themes. And another thing was the Inferno match, and everything just looked good. Plus the fact that I kind of fell off track with WWE for a long time, so I thought it would be nice to just get back into it. I got the demo on the PlayStation Network. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I figured, what the hell, I'd rent it. And I more or less fell in love with the series all over again. I mean, gameplay was a lot better than I remember it. Creator Wrestler was back with a vengeance. I was actually able to make Nala this time, oh my god. And various things that, you know, they had more or less taken out or killed or put back, and the models looked better than ever. And the Creator Wrestler entrance theme thing was no longer a rumor or a thing that was only available for the 360 people. You know, now we PS3 people had it, so that was a dream come true for me. Let's talk about some of the more prominent features of the game. The biggest thing being Road to WrestleMania mode. Each of these games have some sort of storyline thing to them. And SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 went different routes with that as far as some sort of season mode. This time, however, they made several different stories for several different wrestlers. There's a storyline for many superstars from each of the brands. On the Raw side, there's one for Triple H, Chris Jericho. SmackDown has The Undertaker, Batista and Rey Mysterio in the first ever tag team co-op storyline because they had made big emphasis on tag team gameplay in this. ECW got in some action with CM Punk's storyline. I believe Raw also has a storyline for John Cena. I could be missing someone, but that's all I can remember. I think I got them all. And they, I believe, were really well done. The stories were interesting. My personal favorite stories were Undertaker's story mode, and as you saw with this little stupidity, Chris Jericho's, which brought in the storyline specific wrestler or character, the Masked Man, which was a WWE superstar in disguise. You can probably find out who it was via YouTube videos, but like I said, it's a Chris Jericho storyline related character. And oddly enough, I found the element to be very interesting, despite being such a generic design. But nevertheless, there you go. You can unlock various moves, wrestlers, and items through these storylines. Or if you feel being cheap, you can also just slap in cheat codes in the options menu or my WWE menu, and just go on there, put in different codes, and get it there. But I think that kind of took away some of the experience Road to WrestleMania gives, because sometimes it gives you specific goals to complete, like beating, I don't know, Big Daddy V in 2.5 minutes, or making MVP bleed, or, you know, making sure a guy loses or something, or anything like that. And normally, if you complete those things, you get a bonus. Like, you know, if you do something like this, you get Hornswoggle as a manager, or you unlock Snitsky, or if you beat the game, you get the Boogeyman. Yes, for most people who aren't in the know, there is a wrestler in the WWE called the Boogeyman. Look him up. Anyways, after you beat the game or whatnot, you can unlock this. And if you already put in those cheat codes, you know, all you get is like a congratulations, you've succeeded in completing this goal, way to go. And I honestly want to make a new account on my PS3 and start that game over again so I can unlock everything, because they had these like little custom messages for if you unlock people, like, you know, for the Zombie, Finlay, and Santino Marella models. It's like, he's no longer in the Undertaker's control, you control him now. Or like, you know, for DX, you know, you've unlocked the special DX animation and attires for Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and if you're not down with that, And I thought those were very interesting, and I want to see what it says for everybody else. So yeah, there's replay value for me.
What are you doing tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Try to take over the world. What?
Never mind.
All in all, it's a good game. I wish I could say more, but like I said, I didn't want to go over the 10-minute mark again. If you're like, I'll most likely be putting more videos up for it as I go along. There's a lot more I could be talking about. But if you type up SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on YouTube or Wiki or anything, you can find out these things for yourself. But the best thing I suggest is to get it yourself and give it a play. It's for all the major systems, PS3, Wii, Xbox 360, most of the handhelds like DS and PSP. I got the PS3 one. I'm pretty sure everybody and their grandmas are going to get the Xbox 360 ones. But those two, specifically, there's also PS2. But PS3 and Xbox 360, I think, got the better end of the deal in most respects. So if you have one of those systems, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, I've been posting up with creative wrestlers, and I've gotten people who aren't normally interested in wrestling interested in this. It's a really fun game if you give it a shot, and you could probably find some humor in some of the characters that they got in it, because they range from redneck Texans to regular old rednecks like Jesse and Festus, to boogeymen, to fighting Irishmen, to giants, and there's plenty of those. Vince McMahon's dream roster come true. Like I said, give it a go, give it a look. I'll be posting more videos of that. As far as everything else goes, I realized that I still need to finish the SmackDown history and all the Velos. But that also means that I need to make her in these monstrosities. So, look out for that in the future. And hopefully I'll have some more to talk about as far as this blog goes. So, until then, take care.